And welcome to our very first match here on the new format for GSW action here on YouTube. I'm Big Paulie. This is what we're going to call Grand Slam Saturday. We're going to show you a series of matches, and we are going to try to show you all some more action from GSW as my schedule permits. We're going to start off with the big one, a world title match between Dory Funk Jr., who has now been champ 12 weeks in GSW, and he's going to face Andre the Giant. As things stand, and as this card has begun in Chicago, let's show you the champions, and there have been no changes from when we have last seen it. And we'll go through the match summary. If Andre should win the title tonight, they'll have to give up the Atlantic Tag Team Championship, Andre and Hulk Hogan, and they'll have to crown a new title for that in a couple of weeks in the London circuit. So there's how things look right now. Let's take you closer to the ring. Sweet Home Chicago. The very first GSW card that took place in Chicago. We had 7 matches on it. And here's how it went. Mike Awesome defeated Tony Charles by countout, 2-16. Cave Mario Galindo and Terry Gordy. Gordy won by DQ when Galindo injured his leg. Gordy will be on the mend for a little bit. It would help if I show you the screen. There you go. And Johnny Valentine and John Cena went to a double countout. Fabulous Kangaroos easily defeating the New Day. Buddy Rogers lost to Shawn Michaels, so Rogers will have to find another place to call home in GSW. And in our semi-main, Hulk Hogan won by DQ over Hiroyoshi Tenzan when Mike Awesome interfered. That'll probably set up a Hulkster Awesome match 4 weeks' time in Chicago. But the big one, the one everybody's been waiting for, Andre the Giant, probably the best wrestler in GSW, never to win the world's title, and we will see if that should change tonight. He gets Dory Funk Jr., easily Dory Funk Jr.'s toughest test since the Danny Hodge match at Grapplefest 4 in Seattle. So we are just about to begin. Andre, with his size, he could beat anybody on a given night. Computer thinks Dory should be able to retain the championship tonight. We'll close in a little bit and show you this match up close. Dory Funk Jr., Andre the Giant. Can Andre break off the Schneid? Could his streak be over like Susan Lucci's ended one night in 1999? She had lost out on several Emmy Awards, daytime Emmys, but finally won one in 99. And off we go, Andre, using punches outside the ring. He does not want to get disqualified. And a headbutt very quickly to the face of the champ. Disqualified check. He's still a go. Illegal punches. Grand Slam Saturday coming to you every Saturday night from now on at 7 o'clock, and we'll compile the matches as I play them out during the course of the week and show them to you all in one sitting. Illegal punches by Andre. Andre really wanting this belt tonight. Should he win, he goes to 15 belt points, and he loses his free agent status, and that would be taken up by El Santo until Antonino Rocca loses the Junior Heavyweight Championship. So El Santo will be the roaming free agent. Legal chop by Andre, a legal throat chop by Andre, and Andre piling up the points slowly but surely. Another legal chop. Andre staying in control, but finally Dory gets it. Neck hold, and he just cranks the humongous neck of Andre, 5 points off of his total. Auto control loss. So Funk Jr. is just going to have to weather the storm in these matches, in these exchanges. Headlock by Andre. A legal headbutt by Andre. He just rears his head back and just goes kaboom. And that's 7 more points off of Dory Funk's stamina, and Andre already with a 46-point stamina damage lead. Fan interaction, and that wipes the 5 points off of his damage total and brings him back to 0. All going well for Andre right now. Pile driver, too early for a pin there, although you have to imagine a pile driver would be devastating on even a champ like Dory. Happening outside the ring, we have action. Dory Funk stopping the ring away on Andre outside the ring. As champion, Dory Funk comes in 8-1-4. He had a couple of matches as a non-champion. We use a different card for Dory. As champion, Andre 9-3-3. And his last loss was to Boris Malenko in Houston via countout. Butterfly suplex. You're not going to get Andre over. Be serious. Illegal choking by Andre. More illegal choking. Andre could lose his temper, though, and that's what he's got to keep in check. Submission hold, we're not even going to try it. Body slam by Andre. Legal throat chop by Andre. Countered. And Dory goes for the same move. Both these guys with very stingy pin ratings. Dory started at 9-6-1 on the pin rating. He has lost the stamina level, but Andre's still on his 16-8-1. Not including champion sets or shooters. That's one of the better pin ratings anybody has in Wrestling's Finest. By the way, we're using Wrestling's Finest version 3 for those of you asking. Tom Vogel's Fine Wonder. Neck hold by Dory Funk. Arm hold by Dory Funk. Not to be confused with his father, Dory Funk Sr., who was a longtime hero in the Amarillo circuit. Speed move, Dory. Trying to stick and move and chuck and jive here. Shuck and jive. Ropes move. Arm hold by Andre. Andre still way ahead on stamina at this point, or on damage. Kick countered by Dory. Again, cranking the neck of Andre with all of his might. And an eye gouge by Dory. That's more like it. Body slam. You gotta be kidding me. He's not gonna body slam Andre. Throat chop by Andre. 7 more points off of Dory's stamina. Legal throat chop. Of course, the winner of this will go to Houston and face Wahoo McDaniel, who beat superstar Billy Graham, who got a count-out win over Dory in the Houston tournament. So Dory cannot defend the world title in that prestigious tournament. Auto control loss back to Dory. Dory tries a headbutt. Andre doesn't do a lot of damage. Only 4 points off of Andre's total. He's now at 43, and Dory 81 points behind. Legal elbow by the champ. And a kick. Another kick, so he's piling up some points here. Speed move by Dory. Again, sticking and moving, shucking and jiving. Body no, you're not going to body slam Andre's. Andre's looking at him like, are you for real? Especially move. Headbutt. And he needed a 1 out of 40 on that 3 count to get it. Legal power move by Andre. Legal whip to the ropes countered. Punches outside. They go outside the ring, and Dory gets a few licks in. 5 points off. We're 13:45. And Dory's got to hope he could get Andre to about the 40-50 minute mark and wear out the big man. Andre has lost his stamina level now 2. Illegal forearm by Dory and a legal arm hold, but this was countered. And Andre back in control, and he's cranking on that arm outside the ring. Andre 9-3-3. Andre was just last week in Charlotte and went to a double DQ with Greg the Hammer Valentine. Legal chop by Andre. A kick by Dory Funk Jr. Legal choking. And legal choking back for Dory. No, you're not going to get a pin here. Good technical wrestler against a brick house right now, Andre the Giant being. Legal neck hold by Dory Funk Jr. A body slam. Again, Andre looks at him like, come on, you can't slam me. Kick countered by Dory. Headlock countered by Andre. Kick by Andre. That's 8 more points off. And now Dory has lost another stamina level here. He has lost 2, and Andre about to lose 1. Belly-to-belly suplex. That does not score. Great resiliency being shown here by Dory. No action. Auto control loss. Legal throat chop countered. kick by Dory scores. That's 5 points. And now Andre has lost a stamina level. He's down to 2 strategy cards, and Dory still has 6. So Dory has just retained the title. Andre the Giant runs at Dory Funk Jr., who moves out of the way, causing Andre to run into the ringside table. Dory Funk Jr. smashes Andre's head off the announcer's table, playing Yankee Doodle Dandy with his head, and gets into a screaming match with his rival, who was guest commentating, which I would assume was Wahoo McDaniel. Dory Funk Jr. gets caught up in the argument while Andre slips back into the ring, and Andre has won by countout at 18:56. So Andre wins by countout, and Dory still has to go to Houston and defend his title against Wahoo McDaniel, and then maybe after that, Andre can get another crack at championship. So Andre will pick up 3 points for the countout win, but not the title. Dory keeps that. Just bought a new keyboard, by the way. He'll pick up 3 rankings points, which will move him to 151. And the time of the fall, 18:56. Actually, he probably won't get a title shot in 2 weeks, Andre will, because he'd be defending his Atlantic Tag Team titles with Hulk Hogan. So Andre wins the match, but Dory keeps the belt. And next week, we should have Dory's title defense against Andre the Giant. So I hope you enjoyed the match, everybody. It was fun bringing it to you. We have some further action coming up for you on Grand Slam Saturday, so stay tuned for that. And welcome back for another match here on Grand Slam Saturday, but Paulie coming to you at this time. The scene shifts to Minneapolis for a World Junior Heavyweight title defense. The new champ, Antonino Rocca, defending against Classy, Freddie Blassie, most of his career. Blassie competed under the 225-pound weight limit we have here. And that's all you need to be eligible for the junior heavyweight title, is to have a listed weight. As I searched through the names of our grapplers through Google, of less than 225 pounds, or you could be right at 225 pounds, or have been a former junior heavyweight champ at some point during a grappler's career. That was the case with Jerry Lawler, and that's why he was the junior heavyweight champion for a bit. And we'll take you over and tell you what has happened in the Minneapolis card of GSW this week 19 as it progresses on. And we'll have a couple more matches for you before we call it a night here on GSW Saturday. We started off with a draw between Roland Bach and Killer Kowalski. Bach, the German star, got busted open late, but did well to hold Kowalski to a draw. Double DQ between Ron Wright and Mark Lewin. Another Bach, Nick Bockwinkel, loses by DQ in a battle of the bullies. Heel versus heel match to Wild Bill Lungson. It was the High Flyers drawing with the Miller brothers. Vern Gagne pinned Kurt Angle, but not without controversy, as Angle, as replays verified, claimed that he had a foot on the ropes as the count of 3 was registered. And right before we took air, Kurt Angle interfered in a match between Danny Hodge and Big Van Vader. It was ruled a no contest, as Angle attacked Hodge, and Hodge fought with him right back. So that wound up being not a DQ win for Hodge, but a no contest. It'll be regarded in our rankings as a double DQ or a double countout. And with the 16 point difference in the rankings, Vader picks up 2 points, but Hodge doesn't lose any. So that brings us to our main event here in Twin Cities, the home of the Twins, the Vikings, the Timberwolves, Minnesota Wild, and of course Prince. Rocca comes in, the world champ in the junior heavyweight class, and Blassie trying to win his first ever championship in GSW. As we look at the trade holds, and we're going to have a trade of holds because under GSW rules, if one man trades 3 holds, then Rocca is entitled to trade the one set of holds that's available to him, even though it's a ropes hold. Usually, if I have ropes holds on each side, I just cancel them out. Or if it's the same exact trade of holds, I cancel it out. Otherwise, we keep it. So Rocca is the world champ. Blassie trying to win the title. Blassie comes in with a record of 5-3-1 in year 4. Rocca 4-1-0. And we did the trade hold maneuvers already. Boo me if you want to, but I'm going to side with Antonino Rocca to grab the honors tonight. Rocca should win the title in this championship match. So we are just about ready to start. Let me show a closer angle. There we are. And ding, 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 this match begins. Choking by Blassie to start off. A chop by Blassie. Blassie going for an immediate pin. Doesn't get it. Kick by Blassie. Countered by Rocca. Rocca in control. And Rocca's going to fight dirty 2 with an eye gouge. 5 points off the stamina for Blassie. Rocca has only lost 12. This is a one-fall 60-minute time limit match. Blassie, of course, must get a pin of submission within 60 minutes to become the new champ. Otherwise, Rocca retains on any other scenarios. Legal punches by Rocca. A DQ check. You could get Rocca mad. Rocca plays to the fans, but you get him mad. Watch out, brother. Control loss to Blassie. Turnbuckle move by Rocca. Deemed illegal, but we'll overlook that for now. Legal headbutt by Blassie. Action happening outside the ring, and Blassie with a clothesline, knocking him to the arena floor. And the match continues on as Rocca makes it back in. We're 4:06 into the 60-minute bout. Rocca with a headlock. And a speed move by Rocca. Rocca is going to use his agility and know that to be true. And a submission does not go. Arm hold by Rocca countered. A kick by Blassie scores. A control loss. Blassie coming over to the Minneapolis circuit from the Detroit circuit that was merged with Minneapolis a few weeks back and caused the creation of the Chicago circuit that we just saw a match from. Dory Funk Jr. retaining his belt against Andre the Giant. Illegal punches by Rocca. Speed move by Rocca. Chop by Rocca. Choking by Rocca. Like I said, you don't want to get this man mad. And no pin off of that. Illegal punches by Blassie. No pin there. Pile driver by Blassie. And that looked like it hurt. Rocca's going to need a chiropractic adjustment after that. We're 8:30 into the bout. Illegal neck hold by Blassie, which was countered. Rocca going for the suplex. No. 9:15 now into the bout. 9:26. Illegal punches by Rocca. Outside the ring action. Rocca using punches. Stamina numbers right now is 53 off of Rocca and 73 off of the classy one, Fred Blassie. He's a point shy of taking a stamina hit. And there it is as a kick. A stomp to the midsection, and that's 7 more points off of Blassie's total. It's now 53-80. Submission move. Rocca 27 points to the good on Blassie. No submission. Pinhold. No. Rocca has control. Flying head scissors, but Blassie just puts up an arm to deflect Rocca away, and Rocca hits the canvas with a thud. Hair pull by Blassie, but that was also countered. Illegal punches. That scores 5 points off of Blassie. Blassie's total, it's now 53-94. Negative 53, negative 94. Illegal forearm by Rocca. So Rocca more or less keeping the challenger at bay here. Body slam by Rocca. He got his man up, a full body slam. Rocca with a specialty move, the flying head scissors. This time he got it on there, but no pin. Right now we are at 4 pin attempts for Rocca and 3 for Blassie. We're 13-15 into this championship bout. Auto control loss. No action, no action, no action. Headlock by Rocca. And that'll slow the match down a little bit. We crossed the 15-minute mark, and Rocca hopes to reevaluate his match strategy and he lands a headlock on Blassa and then cranks away. Rocca with the headlock. And yeah, that weakened Blassie down a little bit. Outside the ring action, Rocca using punches. Both these guys about the same stamina. Fan interaction when they started and getting a boost from the Minnesota crowd. Legal knee by Rocca. Suplex attempt by Rocca. No pin. So a couple more pin attempts. It's now 6 pin attempts by Rocca and 3 by Blassie. 16:44 into this championship match. Argentine backbreaker. Almost got it done there. 10 on the 3 count. It was 11. 10 was needed. And that was almost good night for Blassie. Rocca not letting up a body slam. Rocca, is he on his way here? A legal low blow. Well, Blassie would have done it to him eventually. Face rake by Blassie scores. So Blassie now way behind on damage. Hair pull by Blassie. And Blassie runs Antonino Rocco into the ring barrier. Quickly comes back to the ring. Rocca is counted out. But the count out means nothing. Except future consideration, perhaps, for Fred Blassie. So Blassie with the count out win over the World Junior Heavyweight Champ. That will look good on his resume. But as the champions travel through the circuits of GSW, that might not mean anything. Blassie by count out. He'll get 3 points for it. The time of the fall, 2019. And we will point out that Rocca keeps the belt. And Blassie will pick up 3 points. Rocca will lose 3 points. But he will still travel the circuit. He'll be in the Western Combine next week. And we'll see what that will bring. Dallas, Houston, Los Angeles, Portland, or Calgary will be his next stop. And that's 59 to 181. So I hope you enjoyed this match, ladies and gentlemen. And now we head off to the great city of St. Louis, Missouri. Hello again, everybody. And we have now shifted over to the St. Louis circuit for our main event on this evening in St. Louis. It is Jay Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat, who have been World Tag Team Champions now 15 weeks. They defend their titles against the Minnesota Wrecking Crew. As I look through the records of the World Tag Team Champions, we've had a whole bunch of World Tag Team Champions, but 15 weeks is one of the longest reigns we have had in the history of the World Tag Team titles. That goes back to when GSW got started in 2017. In fact, that is the longest reign, so if the Youngblood and Steamboat get by the Minnesota Wrecking Crew of Ole and Gene Anderson here tonight, they will have broken the record for the longest world tag title reign. We've had a lot of exchanges, unlike the world heavyweight title, where there's only been a few in 4 years that I've been doing this. We've been year 4, and I did 6 weeks of year 0. So let's just do the numbers here. Okay, 3 times 52 is 156 plus 19 plus 6. 177 weeks I've been doing GSW, and 15 has been the longest reign, and that is where Youngblood and Steamboat are right now, and we'll show you how we set up this match. This is for the World Tag Team Championship, and let's just get these guys going here. And I'll show you how I set it up. Okay, so Jay Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat, they are the world champions. And we use the Minnesota Wrecking Crew of Ole and Gene, who they've probably met a few times in the Mid-Atlantic region, which covers the Carolinas, Virginia. I think almost goes up to Baltimore, not Baltimore, but Washington, D.C. That was the old territory borders, and they would go as far west as, say, Asheville, North Carolina. So it's Ole and Gene, and this will be one fall 60, and then once I set up the match, we will show you what happened in the St. Louis circuit already. Okay, and the trade hold recommendations, pin hold, neck hold, we'll swap that out. And now we will show you what has happened in the matches here in St. Louis. And we've had a couple of shockers. Steve Austin over Chris Tolos. So Chris Tolos will be heading to another territory yet to be determined. It'll be randomly drawn. And whoever gets Tolos will have to give somebody up to 10% off his value. So Tolos is 108. So if they could find somebody in the region Tolos is to be traded to that's 97 or less, he will become St. Louis property. If not, then we just take whoever is lowest that would fit the role Tolos has of being a heel. Second match was Everett Marshall and Ray Steele, which is a grudge match of sorts after what happened with the St. Louis Monarch of the Mat tournament. Marshall wins by DQ when Denny McShane runs in to set up McShane and Marshall for the next card in 4 weeks. Then we have Magnum TA and Vampiro. They went to a double countout. Bruiser and Crusher got stunned by Revival. The Revival, and Revival won by countout despite being totally outmanned. And I forgot to put a match rating on that, so we'll just go with the generic 2.5, which is always what I do when I forget to put the match rating up. And I did that with the Kurt Hennig match also. So we'll say that went 35 minutes, and just forgive me a moment, and I will look at the statistics on that. It was 0-0. It was 0-0. Probably, I would think I'm just going to take a guess that it went 1.5 stars maybe. And I'll write down, shocking quick win for Hennig. Luthez defeated Harley Race when Race went berserk and started attacking officials left and right. He is suspended 60 days, so he'll come back week 28. Okay. So sometimes I forget to get the match rating, and I'll just use my best judgment when I fail to get it. So it was Thez over Harley Race, Pat O'Connor losing to Kurt Hennig very quickly by countout, 35 seconds. And that sets up our main event between the Minnesota Wrecking Crew and Jay Youngblood, Ricky Steamboat. Minnesota Wrecking Crew have never been World Tag Team Champions. And there's always a first time, and you never know, it could come today. We will go with the match. You saw the prediction? I didn't, as I went right through it. So if you hit pause, you'll see it. And I will close in, and we will show you how this match turns out between these two fine teams. As I was saying, the Crew never have been World Tag Team Champions, and Youngblood and Steamboat trying to break the record. If they win this match or to retain the titles in this match, they will go to their 16th week, which is something no World Tag Team Champion has ever done. And the Crew start out with a clothesline. That's 10 points off of the champs. Double team attempt, that picks up 35 more points, so the Wrecking Crew off to a fast start. Pin attempt after a legal throat chop. Take your pick as to which one did that to which one. Legal whip to the ropes by the Crew. Double team attempt. And they are piling up the points very, very early. They're already knocked 72 points off of the champs ratings. Damage numbers and stamina numbers. And in tag teams in Wrestling's Finest, we're using Wrestling's Finest version 3. In case you didn't know, you get a lot more stamina points before you lose a stamina level. Legal choking by the Crew, so the challenger's coming out guns blazing. Legal speed move, and here come the champs. Double team attempt. So they give Gene and Ole a taste of their medicine. Double team attempt, and the Crew is cut. The Crew is cut. We'll take your pick as to which one has the cut. It would probably look better on Gene than it would on Ole with that nice little handlebar mustache of his, and that's an early cut. Double team attempt, but this one was countered, And the crew get control again, and that's a double team attempt for them. 15 more points off. Kicked by the crew. Action happening outside the ring. We have more damage done, as now the champs have been lacerated. So that's 26 points off of them in cuts. And the cut number to stop the match is a randomly determined number that only the game knows. I don't know it. So when we get to that point, we'll have a stoppage on cuts, which this game is patterned after 80s wrestling, so this is something that could happen. And if the challengers win by cuts, they do not win the championship. It's like a count out or a DQ. They'll win the match, they'll win the winner's share of the money, but they don't take the title home with them. Spike pile driver by the crew, and now the champions in a bit of trouble. They're just lost 35 more points of stamina, and they are down 85 points. Legal punches by the crew, more illegal punches, and face first to the ring post goes one member of the champs. I'll say Steamboat probably. Face rake. Double team attempt, again successful. And this is what the Minnesota Wrecking Crew did best, is they would keep their man in the corner and they would just double team, and they would work one part of the body, which was usually the arm of one of the members of the opposite team. Another double team attempt, another 18 points off, so the Wrecking Crew in excellent shape at this point. No action, hair pull by Youngblood and Steamboat as they get a little desperate. Foreign object, countered by the champs. Ropes move. This was a leg drop, no pin. Legal elbow. Suplex attempt countered by the crew. And Minnesota Wrecking Crew try a double team of their own. Actually, it was a disqualify check, and a strategy card was used to prevent the DQ. So they definitely want the belts. The crew just moved to the St. Louis circuit. They were hoping to feud with Dick the Bruiser and the Crusher. But on the way, they happen to pick up this title shot. And if they win it, they'll be the new World Tag Team Champions. Unless they win by count out DQ, cuts, or something like that. Drop kick by Youngblood and Steamboat. And that reduces their stamina, the challenger's stamina, by 10. Right now it's 253 off of the champs, 132 off the challengers, and both teams are cut. No pin there on that pin attempt, which was a vertical suplex. Probably Steamboat getting that one up with his strength. Flying knee armbar. And that was countered by the champs. We're 9:20 in this bout. It's kind of rare for a tag team bout to go the full 60 minutes. Action happening outside the ring. Body slam by the champs. 19 points off the ranking, off the damage numbers of the challengers. And it's now still a 102 point deficit for the champs. Knee drop. That's another 14 points. Almost got the pin there at the 10-minute mark. Body slam countered. Legal throw countered. Lots of machinations going on in this one. Auto control loss. Back to the challengers. Back to the champions. Fan interaction, so they lose 5 points off of their damage numbers. They go from 253 to 248 down. Legal whip to the ropes by the champs. And not a lot of action going on at this point in the match. Body press. No pin by the champs. No action. A counter by the crew, Wrecking Crew. Illegal arm hold, and that's more like their style. 6 points off the champions' damage numbers as their pin ratings creep up. Legal punches by the crew. Legal neck hold. So they're executing a little bit more. There have been 4 pin attempts by the champs, 1 by the challenger. Double team attempt. And that's 18 more points off of the champions total. So they're fading a little bit. And now we have another double team attempt, and that's what they were best known for. Submission move, spinning toe hold. Not going to get the champs on that, I don't think, no. Disqualify check. Auto control loss. Legal low blow by the Wrecking Crew. Well, that'll slow down the agile team of Youngblood and Steamboat. And more double teaming by the Wrecking Crew, but this is what they did best. And a headlock. We're 16 minutes into the bout, and the challenger is looking very good at this point, with half of the damage, less than half of what Youngblood and Steamboat have taken. More double teaming. This was a body slam. And yeah, they've lost another stamina level, and it's getting dire for the champs. And we told you they had been champs 15 weeks since week 4 of year 4. So they have tied the record for the longest reign. Question is, can they break it? And they're going to have to win this match, or at least retain the title to do so. Disqualify check, and again, the crew does not get wrapped up in the momentum they have. They're just keeping their cool and keeping their calm. Legal turnbuckle move by the crew. And some more double teaming. It's now 175 with a 21 cut for the Wrecking Crew, 393 and a 26 cut for Youngblood and Steamboat. The Wrecking Crew has only had one match so far this year. They lost it to America's team, Dusty Rhodes and Magnum. The champs competed nearly every week. They are 9-4-2 coming in this match. They've lost a few matches by countout. Double team attempt, countered. Slam and a body press combo, but that was countered. Legal leg hold by the crew. Kick by Youngblood and Steamboat countered. Legal arm hold by the challengers, and that connects for 6 points. You get the sense it's only a matter of time because we could see a title change in this one. Auto control loss, leg hold by Wrecking Crew. Game pointing out the champs seem a bit lackadaisical, probably from all the damage they've taken. Double team attempt countered. Illegal punches by Youngblood and Steamboat. They're desperate to try to save their title now. Disqualification possible, and again the crew using punches, and they throw it off a DQ. You kind of wonder if it's their night tonight. More double teaming, another 35 points off of the champions rankings, or ratings, or damage numbers, I should say. And I should have been saying. Suplex attempt by the crew countered. Speed move by Youngblood and Steamboat. That connects for 7. Body slam by the champs. Double team attempt by the champs, and it's successful. Auto control loss back over to the crew. Disqualify check. Again, they skate by. Use punches, and it's 6 points off. You figure a team as aggressive as Gene and Ole, they're going to tempt the rules a little bit. And would you believe it? Would you believe it? Both teams collide in the middle of the ring, go down, neither team moving. It's a 10 count. And the champs survive on a double countout, and they will break the record for the longest reigning World Tag Team Champions. This was going the way of the challengers, as you saw. And Youngblood and Steamboat will keep the belts, but a lot of teams have been giving them trouble as of late. The Kalmakoffs just won on a countout against them not too long ago. They will probably, I won't say probably, it'll depend on how the title schedule goes, but I'm sure the Kalmakoffs will be up there. And they will pick up 3 points for the double countout win with the Minnesota Wrecking Crew. The champions do not lose any. And the time of the fall was 22 minutes exactly. It was a 4-star match. Steamboat and Youngblood took a considerable amount of damage at 452 and a 28 cut. And Ole and Gene took half of that. So you kind of wonder if the champs are feeling footsteps or sensing footsteps near them because a lot of teams are starting to catch up to them in this World Tag Team title chase. So with that, I will bid you all adieu, and now we go off. Long distance information, give me Memphis, Tennessee. And I'll show you what I do. We go to female, and you put Burke in the left-hand side. Mildred Burke, she is. This is going to be a world title defense, world women's title defense, and she's got the Moolah. And Moolah has been a two-time women's champ in GSW. Burke is now in her third reign. This is One Fall 60 Minutes. This is in Memphis, Tennessee. And now that I have all this set up, I will be able, and we'll do the trade hold recommendations, which I don't need because each has the trade hold recommendations exactly the same, so they're going to cancel each other out. She's Burke's the world champ. Moolah is the challenger, and she is 5 points clear of the next challenger. So win or lose, Moolah probably gets another title defense next week, which we may or may not have for you on next week's show. This will be the last match on this week's show. Then next week we're going to do the Monarch of the Mat for Dallas and Los Angeles, and then show you a few more circuits main events. And we go to press on Friday, so anything after Friday night will be on next week's version of the show. I take a day off between doing the circuits and then doing Monarch of the Mat, and then I take a day off after I do the Monarch of the Mat tournaments, and then I come back and do the circuit play. We'll run behind a little bit, but we'll catch up. We'll catch up in due time. So let's show you what happened in Memphis. This is week 19 of year 4. Sputnik and Rowe and babyface Dick Murdoch. He was a heel most of his stay in GSW. Murdoch wins by DQ, and Sputnik tries to rearrange his crotch, and it doesn't work out for him. He gets called for the DQ, and Murdoch gets to win. Bob Armstrong pinned Kevin Nash, so Nash is going to another territory. Knee lift at 18:26. Nash had been cut open just a little bit, and the knee lift hit precisely right on the cut, and it sent blood spattering throughout the crowd at the Memphis Coliseum. So send the dry cleaning bills to the Memphis promoters, if you please. Robert Gibson loses to Jake Roberts. Jake wins by pin. Jake made it to the finals of the Memphis Monarch of the Mat tournament, but didn't lose. The final match went to I think it was a double count out or double DQ. It was a schnoz. And Lawler goes to the final stage because he was the higher seed. So Roberts, calling himself the uncrowned champion of Memphis, well, he just knocked out a longtime fan favorite in Robert Gibson. We had a battle of the bullies in the tag division. Christian and Edge showing great resiliency in a 30-minute draw with the Heavenly Bodies. Both teams were busted up, but it goes to a draw, and maybe they will live to fight another day. Jerry Lawler and Scott Norton. Lawler, who won the Memphis tournament that we were just talking about a few moments ago, he wins by pinfall over Norton. Norton's going somewhere else. The North American tag titles were just defended, and the Blackjacks having trouble getting wins. They lose to Jerry Jarrett and Tojo Yamamoto at 33-46 as the referee for the bout had a quick trigger finger, and when Lanza went to break up a Tojo pin on Mulligan, he called for the DQ. Now, if the Blackjacks' ranking, which is now 111, they'll lose 3 points for this. It's 108. If it falls to under 100, they are stripped of the title based on poor performance, and everybody will vie for the championships. If that the North American Championship in the North American circuits, if that happens. Mildred Burke and Fabulous Moolah, that is our next match. And we're going to get to it right now. We'll tell you that so far this year, Burke has been champion 15 weeks in this third reign, beat Betty Nicolai for the title in week number 4 of year 4. She is 10-0-2 on the year. Went to a double countout with Fabulous Moolah last week. So Mullah's going to get another crack at her. Uh, not China, but not Burke, but Mullah is 2-3-2 on the year. And she has had 2 matches in 2 weeks with Burke. She lost by DQ, and then she got a double countout, so she picked up some of her losses in the rankings. And she was eliminated from Belle de Brawl, the tournament we do every spring for the women, losing to China via pinfall, better known as Joni Lauer. So let's get on with our match. Burke and Mullah for the women's title. And we may see this again next week. We may even see this next week on GSW Grand Slam Saturday. Burke the favorite, Mullah a bit of an underdog, but she has been champ twice in GSW, so you never know. And we will close in and show you this match. Just like the men, it's one fall, 60 minutes in time. Mullah's got to get a pinfall or a submission within the time to claim the title. Auto control loss. Legal whip to the ropes by Burke. Legal knee by Burke. So Burke on a great run, probably the best runner in her GSW career so far. Eye gouge. Body slam. Burke very strong. She'll throw Mullah around here and there. A face rake, followed by an auto control loss. We go to Mullah. Mullah loses control right back. Legal whip to the ropes by Burke. Kick by Burke, which was countered. Mullah was ready for it. Submission move, and that's only 5 points off. In fact, that's the first damage hit for Burke in the match. Mullah has already lost 40 points. The stamina levels are kind of low. Although Mullah and Burke have exceptional stamina in the women's game, but mostly when we have women's action, the stamina levels run rapidly. These two, a couple of years ago, went to a 60-minute draw. That's kind of rare for a women's bout. No action. Burke in control. Outside the ring, and Mullah is being tossed around like a rag doll. 10 points more off. It's -5 for Burke, -50 for Mullah. Mullah about to go down a stamina level. Kick countered. Choking by Mullah. Well, you know she's going to do that. And that's a 7-point reduction in Burke's stamina, or damage. We move on. Leg hold here by Burke. That's countered by Mullah. Mullah going for the ropes on a fall attempt. No. Not going to get Mullah. Burke's got a tough pin rating at 20-20-1. Mullah's is 22-21-2 at the moment. Auto control loss. Suplex attempt, and Burke lands a beauty. Fud. And Mullah hits the mat hard. Kick by Burke. Right in the solar plexus. Hope Mullah wasn't planning on having a family. Countered by Burke. Countered by Mullah on a pin hold. Mullah in control. Slave lock. No pin there. And we move on. I don't think Mullah did have any children. But anyway, submission move. Sleeper by Mullah. No submission there. You're not going to make either woman tap out the way things stand now. Small package. No pin. No action. We are now past the 10-minute mark. Flying shoulder block. That does not result in a pin. It's 53 off of Burke, 67 off of Mullah. So Mullah has made a little bit of a comeback at the 10.5-minute mark. A kick by Burke. Pin. No, not a pin. I am sorry. I saw a 3. I thought that would be enough for a pin. So disregard that call. That was only a drill. And we move on. I thought for a minute the pin had been scored. Not to be. Referee almost got to the point where it was a 3 count and probably just brushed the mat with his fingers. So no pin. Legal punches. And we have an ally at ringside waiting to cause mischief of some sort. Mullah has lost the stamina level. A lot of control loss. Ropes move by Mullah. Strategy card used. DQ stopped. Legal hair pull by Mullah. 5 points off. Now only a 9-point difference in damage. No action. Apparently the referee must have messed up somehow. We don't know how for sure. Auto control loss back to Burke. Burke, auto control loss back to Moolah. Moolah loses control, goes back to Burke. So it's getting a little sloppy. Throat chop by Burke, no pin. Thought Burke had her in that exchange of a few minutes ago back. Whip to the ropes by Burke, that scores. Kick by Burke, that also scores. So the lead has widened out to 27 points in terms of damage. Biting by Burke, well, these two don't like each other. And why would they? They were the two dominant grapplers of the 20th century in the women's game. Headlock by Burke. Strategy card countered by Burke. Ropes move by Moolah. That's 13 points off of Burke's rating. Thing I'll tell you about the women's grappling here on Wrestling's Finest, you will find more blood, which is a very, very rare thing in women's wrestling. The latest match on AEW a few weeks back between Thunder Rosa and Dr. Britt Baker notwithstanding. Moolah, slave lock, no pin. That's not going to result in a submission. We're 18:42 into the bout now. It's down to 9 points, the difference in damage. Neither woman cut. And it looks like Burke has now lost stamina. Her pin level going up. Legal power move countered by Burke. Hair pull countered by Moolah. Tried for the hair pull. That was countered by Burke. The power move was countered by Moolah. A kick by Burke countered. Pile driver. Very low odds of a pin. Oh, she got her! Mildred Burke is pinned. We have a brand new women's champ. Fabulous Moolah got her on a pile driver. The odds, 1 in 40, that Burke would be pinned in that sequence on the 3 count. And we wrap up our first Grand Slam Saturday with a brand new women's champ. Same as one of the old champs, it's the Fabulous Moolah. She wins the title a 3rd time. So we will put the particulars in. Moolah by pin, new champ. The reign for Burke ends at 15 weeks. Burke will be a number 1 contender for a long, long time because she is way above the next contender in line, who has about 119 points. So Burke's going to get a lot of quarters to put in the pinball machine and try to get the title back. Moolah will pick up 6 points for her win. She'll go to 130, and Burke goes down to 146. So she'll have at least 4 chances at getting the title back. The time of the fall was an even 20 minutes. The finishing hold, a pile driver, and it was 112-109 on damage. Burke 3 points more damage than Moolah, and as I was saying, the time was 20 minutes, and Moolah, the Fabulous Moolah, joins Lioness Asuka and Mildred Burke as the only 3-time champions of the women's title in GSW. So, I hope you all enjoyed these last 4 matches that I put together during the course of this week, including today. And every time I'm doing a card, I'm going to put 1 match up, and you will see it every Saturday night on GSW Grand Slam Saturday. For now, this is Big Paulie coming to you, wishing you well, hoping you all have a very nice weekend. Hoping the best is yet to come in terms of the ongoing situation with the virus and so forth. Hope life improves and we get back to normal all real soon. Godspeed and God bless. We'll do it all again soon, and bye-bye for now, everybody. He said.